So next thing, the important thing is developing project charter. So what is project charter actually? It is like authorization documents by the project sponsor giving to the project manager. This project charter, once it is signed, that only it will authorize the existence of project, and it will give authorization to the project to use the company organization resources. Okay, so this developed project charter is the duty of the project sponsor, who need to prepare and who need to sign and give to the project manager. Maybe the project manager will help to do the project charter, but theoretically speaking, it should be done by the project sponsor. Okay, let's see what are the various things available in the project charter. So these are the various details that will be included in the project charter. Project purpose, measurable project objectives and related success criteria. What is the high level requirements? What is the high level project description, boundaries and key deliverables? What is the overall project risk? What is the milestone schedule? What is the pre-approved financial resources? What are the key stakeholder list? What are the project approval requirements? What is the project exit criteria? What is the project manager, assigned project manager? What is his responsibility and authority level? And who is the sponsor and all those details. This high level means it's like a broader level. It's not like assessing, like each and everything they have mentioned, because it is in initiating phase. So it will be like high level assumptions, high level requirement will be there, things will be there. Okay, so the questions will be like that. In which phase they will identify the high level requirements or high level assumptions. If they use the high level or broader, so answer it is in the initiating phase, not in the planning phase. Okay, there will be always the confusion between the planning and initiating phase, but you should be careful regarding the high level assumptions, high level constraints. Those are the things we can able to update throughout the project, but the high level, the broader level will be done in the initiating phase. So let's see one example of the project charter. It's like I made simple example actually. It's not like exactly it will be look like, because it will run on pages. Actual project charter will be just for example. I am giving this one. So for the project title and description, so it's a 4 laning or 4 lanes will be there. Project length is 75 km. It covers the strategic 2 locations, and entire road is it is the concrete road. So who is the project manager? Mr. Rajesh Kumar is the project manager. So what is authority level? He can request any resources he needed to the resource manager and secure the needed resources. And he has a signature authority level up to $10,000. So detailed business case we have already seen, that is attached in the annexure 1. So the resources, the required, pre-assigned or the required initial requirement will be, these are the resources required. These are the key stakeholder list, and the consultancy, administration, local people, the client, team members, they are also the stakeholders actually. So the high level requirements, okay, in the project is 75 km of road. Actually, there are 5 numbers of major bridge, 2 numbers of ROB. We have to complete the work within 24 months. Within the agreed cost, you have to adhere all the local rules and regulations, and we have to achieve the stated profit. So these are the high level requirements by the company and by the client. Both are included here. These are the deliverables, so which we are going to give to the client. The deliverable may be that stated in the contract agreement between you and client. So these are the key deliverables and assumptions. We have already seen what will be the high level constraint. The project approval requirement, that's what above What are the various about 10,000? It should be approved by the regional manager. If you want any additional equipment, it should be approved by the resource manager. If you want to submit some claim, it should be approved by the contracts manager as well as the project manager. These are the various project approval requirements within the organization. You please need to remember this project charter is between you guys only, okay, within the organization and the project manager. There is no role of client in the project charter, that you have to remember actually. So overall projects risk we have already seen. So what is the project exit criteria? On what condition you want to exit the project? I just put an example. If you're not getting the approval from the client, though you have submitted all the requirements, means required documents to the authorities, if you're not getting the approval within 3 months, then you have to exit the project, because it will affect both your cost, bottom line, and the time schedule. So that is one of the exit criteria. And force majeure or other exit condition mentioned in the contract documents between the client and you. Okay, so this is the two project exit criteria, and this will be signed by the project sponsor who is authorizing this project. Okay, once it is signed, then it is project is authorized, and the project manager will be given all the power to use the organization resources to achieve the project target. Okay, so this is the example of project charter. Who will prepare and authorize the project charter? So this is the question. I know everyone answered it correctly. The answer is project manager. No, it's a project sponsor who will prepare and authorize the project charter. Okay. So develop assumption log. So whatever the assumptions and constraints, both assumption and constraints, whatever we have stated in the business case or project charter, separately there will be one assumption log we should develop, we should have. So it will be updated throughout the project. Okay. In planning phase, we will add some other assumptions, some other constraints. So those things will be updated, keep on updated. So that initial assumption will be added in the assumption log. So developing assumption log is a part of initiating phase. Okay, that should be keep in mind, but it will be updated throughout the project. It will be in the planning phase also, it will be in the executing phase also, it will be in other phases also. But the developing assumption log is in the initiating phase. So next important thing is coming stakeholders. So identifying stakeholders, what is the expectation, what is the interest, what is the influence, and the impact. This is another important thing. So the countries like Singapore, it's so important to identify these stakeholders, because there are a lot of stakeholders will be there, and the rules will be very strict. So in that cases, you have to carefully identify all the stakeholders and what they are expecting, whether they have interest towards the project, what is the influence, whether the influence of them in the project is so high. For example, whether they can able to stop the project itself, whether the impact because of them, whether there will be any cost impact or there will be schedule impact, or to the project, overall project, there will be any other impact, social impact, anything that you should be carefully identify and you have to list out. For example, like in Singapore, there will be like if you are doing some road projects, there will be stakeholders. If there are trees, there will be separate end parts, like that one stakeholder will be there, from whom you need to get the approval for cutting the tree and replanting the tree. If you are not if without getting the permission from that authority, if you are cutting the tree, your company will get a fine of some $30 million. I don't know the exact figure. I'm saying some fine they will get, and they will prohibit you to execute the project also. Maybe that also will happen. And if you want to divert any cables or some cables, you have to contact the particular agency like Fintel or StarHub. If you didn't contact them and if you have cut the cables, that will be fine. Okay. So if there is any drain diversion or any drain is coming without informing the particular agency like PUB, Public Water Board, and if you are doing the drain diversion, then you will get the fine. And if you are doing the project where there is houses or there, and if there is any or noise pollution or air pollution, or if any pollution happens, then if the people complain to the agencies, then you will get the fine. So you have to identify like what are the things are coming in your project and who will be the expected stakeholders for approval. You have to get these are the things you have to get out for. So okay, in my project cable is coming, I have to divert the cable. Okay, I have to get this is the stakeholders, I have to get approval. If I'm not doing, this is the impact I'm going to get, this is the influence, they can able to stop the project itself. Okay, they can able to stop the project itself. What is their expectation? You just have their expectation is we have to inform them at every time. Like whenever we are going to cut, we have to inform them. Like people, they want the noise to be low, air pollution to be low. So what we have to do, the noise control board, we have to noise barrier, we have to keep. We have to use the generator, means overlap lap generator, which is surrounded by the noise barrier. So those things should be done here. Okay. In the identify stakeholder, determine the expectation, interest, influence, impact. Just one example, not related to the example whatever we have explained. It's a common example I have mentioned here. Okay. So next thing is develop stakeholder register. That's all. Once you identify the register, you have to mention all the stakeholders, their phone numbers, their email ID, contact person, everything. That is the develop stakeholder register. So that's all. These are the various process that we will do in the initiating phase. First, we are going to select project manager. We are understanding. We'll recollect once again the overall project means the project management process in the initiating phase. So first selecting the project manager, understanding the business case. He will understand the business case and benefit management plan. Once he understands, he will do EEF, enterprise environmental factors. That is the factors that are affecting the project, but that is not under the control of project team, like company cultures. There are two things within the organization and outside the organization. So those things he need to study. And the next thing is historical information he need to collect. That is OPF, organization project assets. So those things he need to study. Once he done, he uncover what are the initial requirements, assumptions, risk, constraints, and what is the existing resources for the project. Those things he will do. After that, he whether within this constraint, whether he able to do the project or not, how to do that he will assess it. Then he will create one measurable objective. What will be the success criteria? He will do that. Then he will develop one project charter that will contain all that he won't develop. Project sponsor will develop and he will authorize the project manager to execute the project. Once he done, then in the same times, the assumption log should be developed. Assumption log will be developed by the project manager only. It's not done by the project sponsor. The project manager can develop one assumption log. Then we have to identify stakeholders, expectation, interest, influence, and impact. Then the stakeholder register. This one thing is this is not like in this pattern only it should be done. Okay, this is not a patternized one. Unlike the planning process, you should not change the series actually. But here it is like you can do whenever you want in the initiating phase. There is no. This is the order you have to do. But in the planning process, whatever we are going to see in the next video, it should be the series. You have to do first management plan, and first you have to do the activity list, then you have to estimate, then you have to sequence. Like that order will be there. In that order only you have to execute. Okay, the initial phase it is not like that. Anytime you can do any process actually. So if you see initiating phase, there are only two project management process. That is, one is develop project charter and identify stakeholders. The develop project charter will be a part of project integration management. The identify stakeholders will be the part of project stakeholder management. But we have seen so many process. This is like for your understanding the concepts. Okay, but that in that 49 process in initiating phase, there are two project management process only from this list. Like that is, one is develop project charter and another one is identify stakeholders. So these two project management process will only in the 49 process. But these are the various process you will do in the initiating phase. These are the things you have to understand. These are the concept they will ask in the PMP also. You don't say like it is out of question. These are the things will be asked in the PMP also. But they will ask about business case, they will ask about benefit management plan, they will ask about assumption plan. So you have to understand the things. Okay, I can just talk about project charter stakeholders only. That is not my goal, as I explained already. That is not my goal. It is to understand the concepts. Okay, that is why I have made elaborate video regarding the initiating process. So next video we will go and see regarding the planning process group. What are the various planning process? What are the various project management process are there? That we are going to see in the next video. Thank you.